Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different and use Bing Copilot to learn to code. Okay, so AI is really big these days and people are using a lot of these AIs to write code for them. I don't think that's a great idea, and it's at my stage, it's totally a terrible idea. Because if you get the computer to write code for you, there's a couple of problems. Number one is that it might not do what you really want it to do, and number two, if it doesn't do what you want it to do, you won't really understand to change it and fix it, right? So what AI might be better at is to teach you to learn to code at this stage. Maybe when you get really advanced and you get the computer to write the code for you, then you can read it and proofread it like you would for an essay or an article or something like that, right? But at this stage, I don't know enough that to ask the computer to code for me, but I can learn from it. And that's what I want to go over, okay? And I'm just starting with this. So if any of you have any other suggestions on it, please let me know because that would be great. We can learn all this thing together, okay? The thing, I'm going to use Bing Copilot, okay? So you have to install Edge and you have to click on the Bing right here. This does work. I've tested it on Linux. It does work on that too. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty good. It works equally well. Different though. And I'm going to go for more precise. That's what I always do. Personal preference. All right. So what I'm going to do is have a grandchild code component. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do very quickly is unblur blurry. So what it does is that if I'm on the button and I click away from it, then it's going to activate. If I click on the button, it's not going to activate. That's what on blur means. Why am I doing this? Well, because I can, right? And then I'm going to have a message here there saying, hi there. Okay, so we go here. Actually, let's restart this. Oh, and we got to go to grandchild. Click me, nothing happens. Click away, then it activates. Okay, that's the on blur event. So what I can do if I need to do something, so what I'm trying to do, and I can't figure this out for the life of me, I wanted to just say in the message there, good morning, okay? Good morning, but when I click away from it, it says, hi there, okay? But it's not working, so what do? I can actually copy this and paste it right inside of here and hit enter. And so it just loads it in the memory. It needs to analyze it, and it'll give you some comment when it's done. Is there anything specific you would like to need help with? Yes. I want the default message to say good morning. And so you could just ask it things, just small things in order to fix it. Or if the code doesn't work, you could upload it and say, this code doesn't work. All right, so you could do a whole bunch of different options like that. You could set the default value of message, private string message equals, oh, of course. Oh, so why don't we just do, and then it will set the default message to good morning. Let's try that. That's not working. Maybe I have to reload this. If it doesn't work, you can actually just type inside of there, this doesn't work, and it will analyze it again and tell you what is wrong with it. Sometimes I had to do that. It says, there's nothing wrong with it. I said, there's something wrong with it. See, good morning. I click on it, and then I click away. Hi there. That's where we go. Okay? So it does, every time you change the browser, it does delete it. So you got to keep the browser open. You might want a separate browser to look through. Okay? So that's what I really like about it. There's several things that you can do. You can actually, if you want to, it's a lot of code. You can actually grab the file, right, in the browser, in the file system, file manager, and drag and drop it here. In Linux, you can't do that. You actually have to right-click it and open with. I'm not seeing that here, but open with. Here, it doesn't work. I don't see, it's not working, so you just drag and drop in Windows. But in Linux, you have to right-click it. Okay? And so what you can say is, I I always just prompt it to show where it is. I don't think you have to, but it has messed up with me from time to time if you don't prompt it. Can you see the code on the left? So if it's a much longer code, several pages, you can actually load it up this way. So it's coming from the desktop, right? Yes, I can see the code context. It's message when clicked. How can I get the message to change by inputting words in an input box? Okay, I want an input box here, okay? And then you type it in, and I want that message to change accordingly. How do you do that? You can add input element to the Blazor component. Huh. Of course, we all know how to do this, right? But this is just the learning method of what we're doing. I want to make it relatively simple. So it says input bind. So it's talking about binding, okay, two-way binding, message. And we learned this in the previous video, but it tells you how to actually do that, okay? So I think that's really nice. It teaches a lot of things. You can ask it specific questions. You can ask it follow-up questions. You really can ask it anything. You can ask it what's wrong with it, how to change it, how to add it. What does this mean? What is this called? And say like, is this what is called two-way binding? Is that what this is? Because it's not really saying that right here. Yes, that's correct. The @bind directive is used to implement two-way binding. So you can ask it all sorts of questions that way, all right? If you see something that you're not familiar with, ask it inside of here. Usually it's right. I think there was one situation out of many, many, many that it was actually wrong, and then I had to ask it a follow-up question, and it corrected itself. So it's not perfect, but if it makes sense and it's consistent, keep asking around in the system, and it does a great job. You can always go to other places like Stack Overflow and ask a human being, but because this is real time, you can ask it and it answers you immediately. It seems to be a lot more friendly. Not that the developers aren't friendly at Stack Overflow, but it seems to be a lot more easier to use just with talking. As this searches the web, it looks for examples, it analyzes them, and it gives you the output. So that's my experience in using Bing Copilot to help me to program. If you have other ideas, please share them. We're all in this together. Thanks.